Hi, this is a report on basically making complaints to Internal Affairs Police, Internal Affairs. Basically what I did was I contacted Internal Affairs and spoke to Police Officer Ian Morris, and basically I asked him that I had complaints against George Loverock, etc., and police corruption, and I wanted to be heard, and I wondered if I could come into the office. We made some appointments that had to be rescheduled as I was quite busy, and basically I decided to take my advocate friend David Park with me, and basically we were to go to Internal Affairs meeting. I took a digital recorder and I recorded the whole conversation just to cover my ass, because and you'll understand why I did that when you hear what the result of that meeting was. Basically, during that meeting, I took 5 folders with me containing about 300-400 pages of files, and just as an example, for example, like we sat down, we got into discussion, and when I was said to go, okay, can I show you the evidence? Basically, the police officer Ian Morris grabbed the folders and basically flicked, without having a look at anything. Basically flicked through a folder, taking about 20 seconds to flick through a folder, or 15 seconds to flick through a folder, and basically just glances at pieces of documentation that really don't mean anything unless you understand what you're looking at, and you need it to be tutorialed by me to explain exactly what the documentation means, because we're talking about police corruption stuff. It's not going to be there in black and white. It's sort of like subliminal on the computer. And the bottom line is that he went through 5 folders, like flick, and then basically called me delusional at one stage, and etc. We had a conversation. There was a bit of stirring. There's also sort of carry on, and the bottom line is that my behaviour was impeccable. My mannerism, my morals, my the way I spoke. I didn't raise my voice, I didn't argue, etc. We left differing in opinions, but that's I'm sure that's allowed. And the bottom line is that we did. Basically, I wasn't allowed to really get into and explain my documentation. And he just glanced at it, which would have been the way he looked at the paperwork. It would have been absolutely meaningless for him what he was doing. Wouldn't have had. If you asked him what he looked at, he wouldn't have been able to tell you. Now the bottom line is that the whole meeting was recorded to protect myself from exactly what was to unfold. Basically, I went home, and then basically I had an appointment with my psychiatrist coming up. Basically, I think it was the week after, and when I went to that appointment, basically I was told that I would cause trouble in the meeting. That Ian Morris had rang up the Bentley Hospital and spoke to my psychiatrist concerning my conduct in the meeting, and suggesting that I was the police officer now is more or less diagnosed me as being delusional, etc. in the conversations that we had in the meeting. And the bottom line is that from making a complaint, basically they decided they were going to raise my medication because they deemed me as being delusional. Now the bottom line is that how can you be delusional when the person doesn't even know what he looked at? And I've got the meeting recorded, and basically I sound very normal, and so does my friend David. And there was no reason for them to pick on me and exclude me or ring up after the meeting and to have a cheap shot at me and raise the medication. Now I'm suggesting that the reason why they raise the medication is because they're trying to put me off from making complaints. Because like the bottom line is, every time I make a complaint, it's not heard fairly. The whole scene is corrupted. All the corruption agencies are corrupted, and the bottom line is I'm not given the opportunity to properly have a fair go at fighting for justice here and winning back my property. Raising the medication is an absolute joke, and it's blatantly obvious why, when you listen to the recording of the meeting, why they would have done that. It is absolute corruption beyond your wildest dreams.